come down. Blow on down, pass it around. Hey, walk with me now, we running wild. Hey, and nobody gang, we on the town. Hey, never come down, I never come down. Lose it, I might lose it. I might lose it. I might lose it. Lose it. I might lose it.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. The Steelers would love nothing more than to finish out today's game with a second notch in that win column. It's the top.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the steel capital of the world, Pittsburgh, PA, and Heinz Field. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Tennessee Titans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9? This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. And they get to him with a pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. The corner blitz gets there as he goes down for a loss of 7.
Oh, my goodness. Was that a defensive back that got to him with the pressure?
Oh, look at the former defensive back. You're all smiles up here.
I hope everybody can hear my smile on that play.
He's got time in the pocket, and he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here, he throws it away, and now it's 3rd. I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. A fake to Bell. Now it's Roethlisberger. Going up top. And that is incomplete.
Pass interference. Defense.
So pass interference, partnered with all the rule changes. It is hard to be a defender in the pass game.
Brandon, is tough in college. It's a lot harder in the NFL. You can't touch him after 5 yards downfield. You can't touch him while the ball's not in the air. You can't touch him at all until the ball is at the receiver's hands. Very difficult to be a defender in today's NFL.
20 yards on the pickup there. And it's good enough for a Pittsburgh first down. They were ready for what the defense was showing. They had prepared for that look, recognized it, went straight to the air, got the first. Well done.
Love the recognition because you can prepare for everything. You can watch the tape and put together your game plan, but you still have to understand what they're doing in terms of what they're showing and be able to adjust accordingly, and they did exactly that. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line.
That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here and caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Golden Tate, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers... They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it ends with the Steelers finding the end zone. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. They'll come out in the pistol. A first down throw for Mariota. Eluding the pressure right. And his first pass here is going to fall incomplete. So 2nd and 10 here. On 2nd down, Mariota again. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
Okay, when the big guy runs a corner route, you're asking a lot no matter who's covering him. Doesn't matter whether it's a linebacker or a defensive back. Yeah. He usually has the advantage because of his body type.
On the ground, this is Derrick Henry. Oh, he bowls over it. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Give him 11 on the gain there. And that'll be good for a Tennessee first. The defense came out with a look that they had prepped for all week to attack. They took advantage, got the first down.
And the key words in there, prepped for all week. They really studied them, understood their tendencies, knew what they like to do, and prepared their game plan accordingly. And, boy, the payoff was good.
They give them 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
That's another nice run, and I have to tell you, some of the coaches that I played for, their philosophies were always different when they see a guy running the ball well. Some of them wanted to immediately go to play action and throw it now because it's wide open. While other coaches said, you know something?
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Got the hand caught up in the grill of the face mask. 15-yard penalty.
So tough for a defender. You're trying so hard to make a play, and the way that these offensive guys can move around, sometimes your hand gets into the wrong place.
Now a handoff looking right. And he's got Rome. Cuts it out to the sideline. Touchdown, Titans. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Titans are an extra point away from tying this thing up.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run. And one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
This will be fielded at the 6. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that.
And that was a nice play by the defense. And it is tough to be an offensive lineman nowadays, especially if you're dealing with how the defensive tackles have evolved. Their quickness, their agility, their speed has changed the big guys in the middle, the center and the offensive guards. Formerly, they were just power players. Now they have to be light on their feet as well to keep up with the speed of the defensive players.
Well, they brought the pressure, and that meant man coverage behind him, so he's still able to complete the pass.
Even as he took the hit. And that's what you have to do, because I was just talking with a coach the other day, and he said, look, it's not always going to be pretty back there. You're going to have to give me completions, even when you're taking some hits. Sometimes you have to be your own blitz control, for lack of a better term. Got to make completions, step up, and make those throws, and he did that.
And the offense lining up 1st and 10.
But we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
And they still need 8 yards for the first here on 2nd down. It's a 5-receiver set, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. On second down, Roethlisberger. And they get to him with the pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. They push him back 8 yards that time on second down. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they left little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it. But it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
It'll be a gain of 12, but it will also lead to fourth down.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. And here comes the Steelers defense making their way onto the field. And a touchdown given up the last time they were out there, so maybe need to refocus a little bit.
And make sure that they don't start finger pointing with each other, because oftentimes when a touchdown's given up, you say, okay, where did that happen? Who broke down? Who gave it up? Instead, just go back out there, be a unit again, and try and play a little bit better.
Yeah, see if they can play a little bit better on this drive. A pickup there of 37, and it's good enough for a Tennessee first down.
Similar to a slant, it's all about timing when you're throwing a crossing route. Quarterback and receiver have to be in sync, and when they put it on them just right and catch it full speed, running through a defense can often result in a big pickup of yardage.
Now a play fake here on first down, and he's going to drop this off to his fullback. They get 25 yards out of that one, and that'll be good for a Tennessee first.
And they pick up a first down, and that came out of the fullback position, but as you and I both know, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a fullback playing in that spot.
Well, times have changed, right? The old school fullback doesn't really exist anymore.
We're not getting that same player out of college with all the spread offenses, not very many pro style, where you actually have a true fullback. We're having to make do in the NFL and put guys in that spot who emulate it but aren't necessarily that position.
Now Mariota. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he will score. Touchdown, Titans. Darren Waller, his fourth touchdown on the year. And the Titans have taken the lead. Quarterback loves the receivers, but sometimes his best friend is that tight end.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, isn't it? Because we always talk about the guys out wide.
Back here with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. We've had the kickoff to begin the first quarter. Now it's time for the second quarter kickoff, as we'll see one following the score on the final play before break. This is taken about 7 yards deep, and they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Our eyes shift now to the Tennessee defense here. They're just hoping for more of the same. Last time they forced the punt that led to a score.
They flipped the field, essentially, and that's what you want to do as a defense. Make sure that you put your offense in a great position to run their offense and put the ball in the end zone. That's exactly what they accomplished.
They accomplished that last time. What will they accomplish this go-around? No gain on the play there, second down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom, quick, 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 and what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Now Roethlisberger to throw on second down. And finding the tight end Hooper. And they're able to get this one across the 35. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain. Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football, because if it's popped up in the air it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up fourth. Here's Jordan Berry now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first.
Partner, how many times have you heard it? Pressure creates diamonds, right? But it also bursts pipes. And on that one, that's what they got. They got after him, and he was fortunate just to get rid of it.
Yeah, he just had to chuck it away. And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. Out come the Titans now. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around.
Well, he got what he could there, just trying to move forward and gain a little bit of yardage and create some space. You know the pressure is going to be tough defensively.
Throwing is Mariota. In the middle of the field, he's got Nelson. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
So they brought in an extra defensive back here, so probably not expecting a run on 3rd and 3.
A good call.
And he's got his man in stride, complete. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Henry, the lone man in the backfield. He'll get the football here. And he'll use his blockers to get this up over the 20 to the 21. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
First down, Mariota. He completes it to Nelson. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
On second down, Johnson. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. He'll wind up losing 3. And now it's third down.
And that's why you see so many teams play a 3-4 defense, because that set gives you a lot of flexibility about where to bring pressure from, and it's hard for an offense to pick it up. Left side, right side, up the middle, especially with some really flexible linebackers.
Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. Two minutes remain here in the first half. Back to Heinz Field after this. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, partner. Well, they started this drive in as tough a spot as you can at their own 1, so they're able to march it into field goal range and get 3.
I thought that was a very poised, dare say classy sort of a drive. Backed up in the shadow of your own end zone, yet you come out of it and put points on the board. Well executed.
And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut it, all right? So you got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But hey, listen, there's going to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. They're going to hurry back to the line now. On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger surveying the field. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete. And nobody was open downfield there. It looked like a pretty clear throwaway.
Yeah, it definitely was that. I'm wondering why there wasn't intentional grounding. I know they're saying there's a receiver there in the area. Those darn quarterbacks, they get away with everything.
Spoken like a true defensive back, Mr. Davis.
Did that come out?
It did.
Okay.
2nd and 10. It's Roethlisberger once more. And they get to him with a pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. And the Titans going to signal for a timeout defensively. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. They'll come out in the pistol. Now Ben on 3rd and long. Always got some breathing room. And he'll be taken down. Now another timeout here called by the Titans. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And he gets it away. A directional kick going toward the sideline. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Marcus Mariota getting ready to go again here on offense. He's played a pretty clean first half. A touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of it. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. It's a gain of 15 that time. And it's good enough for a Tennessee first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. It'll be a gain of 4, and it'll make it a second down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Mariota again. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks. And now with that completion, he's north of 200 yards here in the first half.
And he's going to break our statistician, Marvin, isn't he? Because Marvin right now is just tallying it up. Hope his hand doesn't hurt too much doing this or keeps hitting the calculator. But my goodness, what a start he is off to. By the end of this game, he could have monster numbers. He just wants to continue to be accurate.
And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
This pass caught at the 4. And into the end zone for a Tennessee touchdown. Darren Waller in the final seconds of the first half. And the Titans are going to add on to their lead.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here. There's the Titan kick team as they run up and send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. They come up with one running back. That's Bell. And he'll get it up the middle. Oh, he's got a little daylight. Oh, what a move. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So as they take it over, we step aside. Final play of the half. It's Roethlisberger. Out left side here to Bryant. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 4. Now, my apologies, Larry. I wanted to hear the report. Somebody's in a hurry. So we're going to get him right to quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on.
Derrick Henry all alone. He's at the 30. Touchdown, Titans. Derrick Henry, 78 yards. And the Titans find a way to stretch their lead. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
And break out your calculator, partner, because his yards per carry went up significantly, right? Big-time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now the Titans defense gets set to go again. They'll start out on the ground with Bell. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And that one is going to set the offense back. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And Bryant's got it over the middle. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. It's a solid pickup of 11, and it's second down. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is not with his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle. He can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
Now whistles here before the snap, and it looks like one of the Steelers may have moved.
False start, offense.
So the offense now dealing with a 2nd and 7. On 2nd down, Roethlisberger. And finding the tight end Hooper. And he's brought down after a good gain. A good pickup there, 22.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically, but a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
Now a first down carry by Bell. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Well, it hasn't been a whole lot of fun for Le'Veon Bell in this ball game, trying to find room to run the ball. I'm sure they're going to have to change some things up because he's so versatile. They've got to get the ball in his hands somehow and create some space because they're losing this game.
Well, defensively, you got to key in on Bell, make him the focal point to stop him, and they've been able to do that.
And he has gotten better every year he's been in the league, always adding something to his game, one of the premier runners in the NFL.
And a tale of 2 weeks, so to speak. Last week, really good. Here, I don't know, they say baseball's a game of inches. Maybe he's just a little bit off from last week, but it's produced different results.
He certainly has, not the results that he or his team expected. I think what I loved the most about watching him last week when we were doing the game was how he could change tempos throughout the game. They could go fast, they could go slow, they could go medium. At one point, remember, he hopped him into a 2-minute drill in the middle of the first quarter as things were going along just to change things up and was firmly in command. Today, I think he's trying to find that same rhythm that he had last week.
This one angles out of bounds at a good spot in the coffin corner. And they're going to mark this out of the 5-yard line. The Titans offense now, they work their way back onto the field. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Now a play fake here on first down. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he's brought down after a good gain. It's a gain of 20 that time. And it'll give the Titans a first down. And look at the numbers, a repeat performance. It seems right now it doesn't matter how many guys they're going to put on him, he's going to catch the football.
And when you hit that zone, and that's what he's in right now, where everything is working well for him, and I think it's in combination with what the offense coordinator is doing. He's a primary target. He looks at his play sheet, knows he wants to get him the football, and has designed some routes effective for the last 2 weeks. He's really been fun to watch.
All right, here we go.
Throwing Jones. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. Now Jones. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done.
As if he didn't have enough to think about on that route, the comeback route, coming back to the football and catching it, decided to make sure he toe-tapped and kept himself in bounds.
And that was spectacular, but on the comeback route, maybe a little easier to deal with the sideline since you've got better vision of it.
I think that's a great point because you should know exactly where you're going and know how much space you have and make sure you get your feet down. But, yeah, coming back to the football, I like it. Good vision. So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field. They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
First and goal here from the 2. Now they try the right side here. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be second and goal. So stuff from the 2, now what?
You know me pretty well. What do you think I want here?
Play action.
Definitely. Let him get outside and create. And if he has to run it, he has a little bit more space.
And this one will wind up with him losing yardage. Back to the 4-yard line. It's a loss of 2. Now 3rd down. Line of scrimmage at the 4. Here's 3rd and goal. Now back to throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
After all the preparation, all the practice, a play like that will absolutely break your heart. They had everything they wanted, just unable to complete it. In the end zone, a big-time drop.
And Myers able to knock it through, and that'll push the lead from 24 up to 27. And that field goal caps an 11-play drive.
That's a lot of offense to run to only get 3 points, but they'll take them. Anytime you can put anything on the board, you run to your sideline somewhat happy.
There's the Titan kick team as they run up and send this one away. This is taken at his 4. He'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
So deja vu all over again. Another good week. And sometimes maybe, because the defense doesn't look that bad, maybe this is just good offense beating good defense in his case.
I like that because we always want to point out that there's a breakdown or someone made a mistake or there was an error. Sometimes it's exactly as you described it. Sometimes they just made better plays. And that's what he's been doing for the last 2 weeks. Someone's got to find a way to cover this guy. Otherwise, he may set some records. Oftentimes when you're not winning at the point of attack for an offensive line, maybe they're getting out physical. Spread things out a little bit, make it more of a one-on-one blocking scheme. Then you don't have to win it physically. You just have to win it by position. That may open things up for your running backs.
The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs as we just saw there.
Back now in Pittsburgh. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4. And the offense in that middle ground here on 3rd down. 5 yards to go. Bryant, the lone receiver, left. From the gun on 3rd down, it's Roethlisberger. Wide open receiver, complete. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they could do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
Now Roethlisberger on 1st down. And this will be incomplete. He was looking to hit his running back, Le'Veon Bell, that time. And now it's 2nd down. But not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
And he comes back with one complete. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback that has to slide and find open space to throw.
It's caught over the middle. Hooper. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
I don't know whether I want to be a fly on the wall or not when they hear the explanation of how one of the bigger targets on the field, the tight end, can be that wide open and uncovered downfield. Who blew that assignment?
Somebody did.
No doubt.
Now Ben hit, and he lost the football. It's loose. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
All right, you've had to put up with me in this booth. I'm going to try and be simple this time and succinct. It simply has not been their night.
No, I think that fumble's kind of indicative of how this whole evening's gone, isn't it?
Without a doubt. I mean, they've tried, but nothing has ever really taken throughout the game. That's why they're down so big.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And an alley to run. Cuts left. And accelerating, and off he goes. Touchdown, Titans. A big play there. 83 yards. And this Titan offense is running away with this one.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is one of our guys.
But she's singing, too.
Oh, she's singing. She's
on, like, the fifth tune at this point.
She left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And so close to hitting pay dirt last time. Fumbling down near the goal line. Now, how does that affect their psyche this time around?
It's a tester, that's for sure, because to be that close and come away with no points is really disappointing, not just for the guys on offense, but the defensive players, too, who thought, hey, we're going to put some points up and have a little momentum going. Got to find a way to just get it out of their minds, let it go,
short-term memory,
and move on to the next series.
Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Caught right side, Tate. He'll get the penalty yardage back exactly, 10 yards, as they'll get it to 2nd and 10.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Now Roethlisberger to throw on 2nd down. And finding the tight end Hooper. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Now bad hit, and he lost the football. It's loose.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And Bryant's got it over the middle. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. A dime look defensively here for the Titans on 3rd. Bryant, the lone receiver, left. From midfield now, here's Roethlisberger. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. Here's Jordan Berry now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. The Titan offense now working their way back onto the field. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
It's a tried and true. Formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
And fit's the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even added a little extra at the end with a short run.
4th quarter, 2-minute warning about to hit, and it looks like they're going to get one more play in.
It'll be interesting to see what they try and do on this play. Do they try and take a shot, or do they just try and get to the 2-minute warning?
And he will find his big tight end over the middle. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So the Titans in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. Over the middle, open is Thomas. It's a gain of 21 that time. And that'll be good for a Tennessee first.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Got a man, and he hits him in stride. It's a pickup of 14 there, and the Titans are going to have a first in the red zone this time.
I'd have to say they're feeling like they are in rhythm right now. Things are in sync, aren't they? The team's winning, got a nice little margin on the scoreboard, completing some passes, and they just completed another one for a first down there to the tight end.
And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him to football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him.
And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
And to me, that touchdown allows you to start grinning widely on your sideline. I think they pretty much locked this one away.
Yeah, that's the clincher, the proverbial icing on the cake, if you will. Now, this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
To the sideline, and oh, a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were. So here we go, a third down after the second down pass completion.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. There's a running back who was a receiver on the play. I think he's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted, thrown back across his body. A great read, and it's picked off. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
The Titans offense now, they get ready to do battle again here. They have the dream scenario you hope for coming into the game. Just one kneel here, and this game should be over.
And it's always the final play of preparation each week. The practicing of the kneel-down formation, the victory formation. We've got a game in hand, and that's all they're going to want to do now. They'll put someone back deep just in case something goes haywire. But all in all, take the snap, kneel down, and shake hands. Yes, get out of there.
He had time, was able to survey the field and find a soft spot in that zone coverage.
And that's where it gets difficult for a defender, Brandon. You go to your spots on the field that you have to cover, and when the offense finds an area that you're not in, that's where they throw the football.
This will be caught inside the 10. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
All right, here we go. 3-19. Over.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he will score. Touchdown, Titans. A great effort there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the interception by the Titans D leads to a touchdown. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
They go back to the air here after the INT. And that'll be incomplete with 11 seconds remaining now. Austin Hooper, the tight end, was the intended target. That'll bring up second down. So the D-line's going to spread out.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it. Sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining. It looked like he might have had a window there, but the rhythm was just a little bit off.
It certainly was, because everything that has to come together to get a pass completed, yeah, you're right. The sync just wasn't there.
Finding time. He's going to let it fly. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
Taken in at the 22. Room here to run. And he takes it in for the score on the game's final play, so it doesn't affect the outcome, but a little whipped cream on top to their ending.
Or as our friends in Bayou Country would say, that's a little lagniappe, a little extra on top. Well, it certainly feels like that kind of game, doesn't it? No matter what they do, it's going to work. That might be the absolute crusher right there, a punt return for a touchdown.
Feels like there's been a lot of crushers in this game. This lead just gets bigger. So we had action to the very end of this one. The score on the final play that they didn't need to have. They didn't just run out the clock, though. They added to their final total.
Played it all the way to the end. And, you know, some coaches preach that and tell their teams, that's what I want all the time. And they feel like if they don't do it themselves, they're not living up to the message that they're sending out.
So for the Titans, they continue to cruise through this first half of the schedule as they move to 8-0 now on the campaign. And they'll return home next week to take on the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, things are kind of getting ugly as they drop to 1-7 now on the year. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Baltimore Ravens. That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. With that, we say good night from Pittsburgh.